Welcome back to the English Boys.
the show where we discuss all things literature.
I'm Samuel.
And I'm Louis, and thank you for tuning in.
Great. So
Amazing.
Louis,
Samuel, you doing well?
no, yes, yeah, no,
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
doing. It's all right. I'm doing well, man. Yeah. Do you want to just go straight in from where you left off?
Go on then. So, in case any of you guys missed it, last episode I was breaking down the plot and just like different bits and bobs about The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. And we got pretty much to like the climax and the resolution of the book. So I think I'll just pick up from there. Basically, if you're
Great.
up for that. So where I got up to yesterday, or when we filmed it, sorry. um, Christopher has now arrived in London and he's looking for his mother's house, which is 451C Chapter Road in London. And just as a quick, very brief recap, Christopher is a boy with Asperger's and autism, and he has run away from his home in Swindon after he's found out that his father has been hiding that his mother was actually still alive, and also that his father, I didn't actually mention this last time, which is I probably should have, was that his father actually was the one to kill Wellington the dog, which is what the main sort of story evolves around, is how Christopher is trying to work out who killed this dog in the village called Wellington. And all those different events around his father made Christopher scared and terrified, and he wanted to run away and find his mum, who he's now found out that is alive. So, I'm kicking myself I didn't mention this last time, because I definitely should have. But yeah, the main reason why Christopher chose to run away and look for his mother was that he found out that his father was the one to kill the dog Wellington with the pitchfork. And the reason for that is that Christopher's mother actually had an affair with Mrs. Shear's husband, Mr. Shears, who owned Wellington the dog. So he basically they ran away together to London, and I'm pretty sure they got. Oh, I don't know if they got married or not, but yeah, so yeah, essentially they're living together in London, and Christopher's dad was very upset by that and very angry. So as an act of anger and frustration, he killed Wellington, and that was why Christopher's father also didn't like Mrs. Shears, because he just didn't want anything to do with that family, and I believe he attempted to form a relationship with her as well, which didn't end well. So yeah, his relationship with that family is all gone wrong. With him wanting to have a relationship with Mrs. Shears, and then Mrs. Shears running away with his ex-wife. So we meet Christopher now in London, looking for his mother's flat, and he's running around, looking around. Again, it continues all of the amazing and just captivating tangents in his head about all his thoughts and all his worries, which again is so engaging and different. But he ends up finding this house which matches the description and matches the address. So it's quite late at night, so he curls up on the doorstep, clenching Toby, his rat, and just feeling very, very, very scared and alone. But also he's found his mother, which is good. But he's also kind of hoping that it's the right place and it'll all be okay. And then so this is quite late, but then he hears two people walking in his direction, and for him he's quite scared by that, because it's people and he doesn't know what they could do. But it's this man and woman arguing, and they come down to this drive and see Christopher lying there, and the woman starts to go all like frantic and scared, and cursing and in absolute disbelief. And you find out her name is Judy, I think, and this is Christopher's mother. and she cannot believe
Okay.
it because she's missed like his basically him growing up essentially,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
um she was unaware that Christopher's dad told him that she was dead, so she just thought he wasn't writing back. So that was
Mhm.
quite hard on her. But yeah, so she's found Christopher alone in the rain, and she scrambles, collect his things, pick him up, and bring him inside the flat. And meanwhile, the other man is Mr. Shiz, who is Mrs. Shiz' ex-husband and the owner of Wellington, and yeah, basically the man that Christopher's mother's gone off with. And he's quite skeptical. He's just like, "Oh, what's going on? What's this? Okay, yeah, bring him in." But he doesn't want him to stay, and he's quite uh not very not very welcoming to Christopher being here.
Okay.
And they're all very confused. So Christopher has a bath, he has some food, and they very they kind of catch up. But in Christopher, in his in his behavior, he's very um not really deadpan, but he's not very like oh my word, it's so good to see you. He's just quite
Mm.
direct, like he normally is through the book, if you know what I mean.
I
Um
guess he must feel a mixture of emotions and that sort of shocks, angry, disappointed, overwhelmed. But yeah, like you said, it's his method of communication is quite different to most people's as well, which probably is the main factor.
yeah, totally. So this would be very overwhelming for him. And
Hmm.
there's this kind of there's this character of the policeman who's also running around trying to find Christopher because of the whole him getting on the train on his own and him sort of like lashing out at him a couple times. So he's quite intrigued by this, and Christopher is both has this thing in the back of his mind of the policeman's going to find him and he's going to get into trouble, or worse, his dad is going to find him and he's going to have to go home with his dad, which he really doesn't want to do because he's scared. He's killed a dog. He's hidden the fact that his mother's died, and it's all quite tragic and heavy things. But
Hmm.
what's nice is Christopher is essentially with his mom now, and he's pseudo safe, and he's done what he went out to do, and it's quite yeah, kind of encouraging at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Christopher stays in the spare room. His mum feeds him his special food. Um, he he continues to look after Toby, his rat, and basically one night, I think, ooh, yes, so he hears when he tries to get to sleep, he hears Mr. Shears and Christopher's mum arguing about him, and his mum's being quite like defensive and honourable with him, being like, he's my son, I gotta look after him, he's
Mm.
scared, he's nervous. I don't know what's happened with his dad and stuff. But then yeah, Mr. Shiz is quite scared essentially, he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't want any part of it really because he kind of thought um he just wants to, be safe in the flat with his wife or girlfriend. I don't exactly know their sort of status between each other,
Hmm.
but yeah, and then he hears them arguing and he gets scared and he gets sad um and I believe that yeah, Mr. Shiz runs in and threatens Christopher, and for his mum that's um very very scary, and poor Christopher feels really defenseless and unsure, and yeah, he struggles to process this. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, basically time passes with him in London. But the main thing is he wants to kind of get home to Swindon so he can do his maths A level, which is this thing he's been building up to. He's been doing loads of practice, and his mum struggles to sort of comprehend that. Yeah. She's like, Christopher, I can't possibly bring you back. I've got to work. Um, but then yeah, also Christopher again is scared of his dad, so he has that conflict as well.
Yeah.
But then yeah, one day or one night I think, yeah, there's a knock on the flat, and it turns out to be Christopher's dad has come up to London to confront his wife and or his ex-wife, and Mr. Shears, and I believe there's more there's more arguing and more conflict, and Christopher overhears this, and it's just it's really scary for him,
Mhm.
he's been on this incredible journey trying to find out about Wellington and things, but he's come to this point where he's avoided his dad, who did such tried his hardest to look after him, but failed in the end with his feelings about Wellington and Mrs. Shears
Yeah.
and Christopher's mum. So he comes in demanding to see Christopher, to speak to Christopher, to I suppose ensure he's okay, but then also tell him to come home. And Mr. Shears does his best to stop him. They're being quite aggressive with one another. But Mrs. Shears, who's kind of like the middle ground because she's had the relationship between the two of the men, she kind of in the end, Christopher's dad is able to come and talk to Christopher. So Christopher
Mhm.
is on a little mattress in the spare room, sort of like carrying away, and Mr. Shears comes to comfort him, I think, just to talk to him. Sorry, Christopher's dad, not Mr. Shears. And there's this thing which is really sweet, which is because Christopher was doesn't like being touched and things. They recall how when he was younger, his mum would reach out her palm and let Christopher gently touch it, which was quite intimate and sweet. So Christopher's dad
Mm.
does this, but it has no effect on Christopher, and it really explores the sort of just sort of defeated, Christopher's dad's now defeated. He can't. He's made a mistake, and I think Christopher is struggling to forgive him, and
Yeah.
in the end, I think he has to just go, basically. But all in all, Christopher's really keen to go home and do his A level, but then also be away from his dad because he's scared and things. So I'm sorry, I'm just flicking through to see the rest of. Yes, so I believe Christopher is able to go home in the end. His mum kind of concedes, I suppose you could say, and
Mhm.
she's sort of, this whole experience has made her realize how she's in a unhealthy relationship with Mr. Shears, and she decides to leave him and take Christopher back to Swindon so he can do his A level, and hopefully, as it kind of alludes to, reconnect with her with Christopher's dad, so her old husband.
Mhm.
So Christopher's able to go home and do his A level, which he finds out that he passes, which is lovely.
That's
And
great.
it kind of ends with Christopher being looked after now by his two parents, but their relationship isn't particularly rekindled. But what I sort of felt was it kind of alludes to that in a quite a nice way.
Mhm.
But so he does his A levels. He's home now. Mr. Shears is out of the equation, and his rat, Toby, Christopher's rat, has now died. Which is quite which Christopher, he just kind of addresses it this morning Toby died. So it wasn't quite it wasn't really explored as quite a heavy thing for Christopher.
Okay.
But what does happen is his parents buy him a dog. They get a golden retriever called Sandy, who's
Mhm.
very quite empathetic and things, and quite a lovely dog for Christopher to connect with, especially with his with Asperger's and autism. He's able to
Yeah.
do so with quite an empathetic golden retriever. And as I kind of said earlier, Christopher has talks about this connection with animals, which he has. So that's why I think he was so struck and curious about his Wellington's death.
Mhm.
And it ends. So this is pretty much the end. So it all ends kind of happily, and it ends with this amazing line that, if you don't mind, I'm just going to read out.
Go for it.
And it goes, yes. So it goes with and I can take Sandy and my books and my computer, and then I will get a first class honours degree and I will become a scientist. And I know I can do this because I went to London on my own and because I solved the mystery of who killed Wellington. And I found my mother and I was brave and I wrote a book, and that means I can do anything. And that's how the book ends. And I think it's really sort of triumphant and quite like emotional and just powerful a way to end it, of this boy who's
Yeah.
only, like a young teen, um
Hmm.
went out on his own to do all this exploring and discovery in this way, and it's written in such a brilliant, powerful way, in a unique style, which I think so lovely, and it ends in this joyful and sweet way, full of hope, and yeah. um so that's how the book ended, and I think it was such a nice way just to end it, and I think it was um it highlights the sort of journey that he's been on, and that he feels he can do anything now. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Do you sort of have any questions at all?
I mean, I am really fascinated by the plot and by the style of the writing, but I, in terms of your takeaways from the book, and are there any lessons that people can take away in terms of things that they can implement into their life, or just thoughts that you can mull on, really? But yeah, what would you say about that?
Mm. I think it kind of was highlighted in. Yeah, sorry, yeah, good question. It was highlighted in the last line of just, you can literally do anything that you put your mind to.
Hmm.
Um you can go out, you can explore, you can discover, you can be curious, and I think as people, as children and like teenagers especially, I'd say, um you have this opportunity to go out and explore your world and love your world, and just like live it in this really um in this amazing way, because and I think the sort of lesson of the book is such, you can it doesn't
Hmm.
matter who you are or what you've been through, or what sort of condition you may have, or any like neurodiversity. The world is your oyster, and I think with Christopher and this whole theme of neurodiversity, it shows the sort of that is such a cliche thing to say, but having that is like a superpower. It's not a hindrance, I feel. Um, it gives you a whole new perspective of life.
Hmm.
Especially something like autism, which I think's really can give you a way to just to like see the world, and it'll be hard for like someone like him to discover. Like with Christopher, he would find it hard with talking to people, understanding people's emotions. Um, like
Hmm.
if someone made a facial expression, he'll struggle to understand what that meant. But yeah,
Yeah.
essentially, I feel it's it's so it's such like a lovely story of how you can do whatever you want to do, and sorry in like a sorry not in like an aggressive way, but like a happy way.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can
Of
do
course.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think for me, I just got such a happy sense after reading this book, because it was a bit of a roller coaster for me, especially, I feel. Um,
Hmm.
there was there's ups and downs, and you'd worry for the characters, you would feel joy for them, and it was funny in a way. You had good humor in it. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I just feel it's a real triumphant story of how um it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, all this stuff, but the
Hmm.
world is um so vast and diverse that it's just live your life and explore your life, and you don't know what could happen and things.
Yeah. That's brilliant, man. I mean, I think when you read that last line there, um, you mentioned in the last episode, especially, how how this book really made you want to um you were really rooting for Christopher, and that last line I think really for me, obviously I haven't read it, but um yeah, gave me that feeling as well, which is really sweet.
Mm. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Yeah, as you were saying, I definitely felt through the story. You want to see Christopher win. You want to see him happy, and yeah, see things like work out in the end.
Hmm.
From the way I saw it. And seeing that sort of ambition in the end of being like, yeah, I'm going to become a scientist because I've already gone to London and I found my mum and I worked out who killed this dog, so I can do anything.
Yeah.
Um, and I think, yeah, and just going back to another takeaway, I think if you focus on the things that you can do and the things that you have done, and the sort of being grateful for that can really put your eyes to the skies and see, what if you can do that, you can do anything. So,
Hmm.
yeah, and yeah, definitely at the end you can feel that Christopher's kind of his arc's kind of come full circle, and it's ended in a nice um fulfilling way. Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant, man. Well, thank you very, very much for going through that book and yeah, explaining it to us.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
definitely gonna give it a read.
yeah, I'm glad. No, not at all. It was such a pleasure, and I hope I've done it justice. There was just a few
You
more
have.
things I was gonna add if you didn't mind.
Go for it. Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah. So we were talking to James, who's come on the podcast previously, and he mentioned this really interesting thing that I didn't really know about this book, and they were saying how from the time it was written, the whole idea of like neurodiversity and autism wasn't really explored and wasn't understood as well. So for such a book to be written about such a character and their struggles, um, is so it adds a whole nother sort of aspect to the book, which is really really lovely. It's even before yeah, this was understood. There was a message that was expressed, which I imagine would have been quite impactful for something that wasn't as well understood. So I think for
Hmm.
Haddon to create such an impact on the understanding of you know autism and things was really I think really amazing. And the there's so many like you saying, like lessons and things. There's so many lovely themes, and the idea of family, of neurodiversity, of course, and curiosity and what it means to be human, and love and things was so prevalent and really brought the book alive. And there was a few years ago, I'm not sure exactly, but there was a showing. National Theatre did The Curious Incident of the Dog at Nighttime as a play, and it was very critically acclaimed and did really well. And I think one of the main reasons why I'm dying to see it, because yeah, I've heard it's been really good. But from what I have seen, they express Christopher's thoughts and the way he thinks and the way you just he's exploring in such a visual and powerful way. So I believe there's just like projections. He would sort of like people would lift him up and throw him around the stage. Um, um, in this striking and powerful way. And
Yeah,
I believe, yeah, like James was talking about this earlier, it's real. It seems like an amazing thing to check out. So
yeah.
yeah, I personally would love to because I feel this book had a real impact on me, which I was very lucky to have and things, and I hope others have too.
Brilliant. Nice, man. Um, thank you. Yeah, thank you again. And yes, it definitely has made me think in many ways. So yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, well, thank you for letting me blabber on about it, and yeah.
brilliant. Well, yeah, we should definitely go and watch the play together.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Um, yeah, cool. Well, yeah, thank you for listening, everyone, and yeah, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon. Thanks, guys.